In this episode, I'll share ways you can begin to trust your body again. Thanks for being here. I love hanging with you. In this episode, I'll share why it's important to have trust in the body and what takes away from our trust. And of course, how do we rebuild it in our Kintsugi way? There's a well-known thought leader on leadership and business named Stephen Covey, and he wrote the book, Speed of Trust. In it, he shares why trust is critical. You can't move forward without it, and organizations that don't have full gas trust don't make things happen. So trust, when it comes to business, when it comes to society, it matters, right? We see what's happening current day because there's no trust in our institutions. And life today is, well, it's bananas. And here's the thing. We also need trust in our body, especially going through what we've gone through. When you look back at the roots of the word trust, you'll find faith, reliability, strength. One could even say, when you look back at the root of trust, you'll find roots. It's dependable, it's reliable. And when you go through something traumatic, it all can go away in an instant. I know this from experience, and I'm sure you do as well. Of course, it's so important to have trust in one's body because that makes us feel safe. It helps us feel grounded and stable in a very chaotic world. So we want to feel that way. It helps reduce stress and anxiety. There's less to worry about because we have already enough to worry about. Am I right? And it can help us feel joy and happiness because we're using our body to fully step into life. But we know far too well that in life, things happen. The unexpected arrives at our doorstep. It comes out of left field. We don't get any advance warning. The trauma that we experience, and we all experience some trauma, can be mental or emotional. It can be an illness, or in my case, it can be a life-threatening accident. And in all these moments, the trust we have for our body, perhaps our mind, or even our heart, can crumble in a moment. When trust is damaged, it can feel like a betrayal. I'm not sure if you've ever been there, but I know I have. It was a betrayal of what I thought my body would do for me. I thought my body would always be there. We would have a long, happy, healthy life together. And then something happens. And now I wonder, can I fully trust my body? And when we have these moments, there's also a fear that comes up. I know I've had this many times in my recovery. I'd go through rehab or go through a surgery, and I had this fear, which showed up as hesitation or cautiousness. Everyone saw that I was making this great progress in my recovery, but under the surface, I was scared. I was worried that I would push my therapy too aggressively and I would re-injure myself, or there'd be pain on the other side because I had already experienced so much pain in all different varieties, from the dull ache to the stinging pain to the intense stabbing pain, all of it. And I didn't want to be in pain anymore. So my fear, I like to think, was coming from a good place. It was trying to protect me. It was trying to protect me from experiencing more pain. The other thing that can surface when we don't have trust in the body is that we don't feel like we have any type of control. And in a world that seems to be going at 1,000 miles an hour, gosh, do we want some sense of control? We don't feel it as we're going through something. I probably have recited the Serenity Prayer 10,000 times during my recovery. In fact, I've said it so much, I recorded a meditation that I put on the Pause, Breathe, Reflect app so other people can tap into it. But this sense of control, without control, it's hard to have trust. And who can blame us? Going through what we've gone through, not to have a sense of control, and therefore not to have full gas trust in our body. It can also bring up emotional and psychological pain or discomfort. I know this: if the conditions are right, I can go back to the day of my accident in a blink of an eye. I can remember all of it. All of it. So it brings back up, even though I've made such tremendous progress and have healed in so many wonderful ways, when things are right, when the conditions are right, or someone says just that thing, I can go all the way back over 20 years ago to that very moment. And when I do, it chips away at trust. And something else also does this as well. It's all the mixed signals that we get from our body as we try to heal. We know that healing isn't linear. We have good days and not so good days. There are ups and downs and sideways and crisscrosses, the whole shebang. So our body sends us a lot of mixed messages. One day we might feel great. The next day, not so much. We start to feel something, and then we start to worry about the something that we feel. So then we go over to Google or ChatGPT and we type in what we're feeling. And then when they spit back the answer, we feel even worse. Which is why I often recommend, when we're feeling something, not to go to Google or a search engine right away. See if you can just be with it. Allow it to rest with you. Not pushing it away, not trying to ignore it, not trying to numb it away, not trying to Google the answer. Simply be with whatever you're feeling. All of this can erode our trust in our body. But there's hope. As I like to say, there's always hope. We can heal and regain trust in our body. And here's how. As you might know, I'm a big fan of small ripples. I believe when they come together, they create big waves of change. So when I approached my recovery, it was all about small steps, small ripples that helped me see I was making progress. I would measure my success 1 degree at a time. Most people would think that's nothing to write home about, but for me, that was monumental. I celebrated those small wins, and so can you. And some days we might not have any, but we'll put in the effort anyway to create these small wins that we can string together to help us heal, to help us create big waves of change. The second thing I would like to share with you is to listen to the body without judgment, without criticizing it. I believe the body will whisper to you before it turns up the volume to 11, like they did in Spinal Tap. Listen without judgment. Just notice what's here. It's easy to criticize, to blame, to fault, but that doesn't help the healing process. Simply listen through, say, a body scan mindfulness practice that gives you an opportunity to tune into the body, to help you appreciate that everything in the body is always changing. Sometimes we can sense the change in our feelings. Other times, change is happening deep within, and we don't even notice it. So I'd recommend listen to the body without judgment. The third thing comes from my GRACE model and the R, reframe. It's easy to believe the body has betrayed us, that we're the victim in all this. How could it do this to us? How could this be happening? Life is so unfair. Why am I not getting better fast enough? Those are all natural things to think about and to say. But that is one perspective. And the cool thing about you is that you can shift your perspective. You can reframe the situation. You might wish to see the body as working hard to try to heal because it takes a lot of energy to heal, or it needs patience as it tries to adapt into a new way of being. So see if you can reframe your relationship with the body as a way to garner more trust with it. And the last thing I'll share is to encourage you to come up with a mantra or a way of talking to yourself, because we all talk to ourselves about you and your body. A mantra that can help you remember the body's doing all that it can to help you heal, that your body is strong and resilient, and so are you. That you can be patient with yourself and patient with your body. Mantras can be so helpful as we go through the healing process. They help us to remember, to be patient, to be strong, and resilient. I want to thank you again for being here. And when I say this, I mean it, because I know just being here is a win. So thank you for showing up and putting a beautiful ripple into the world. In this episode, I shared the value of having trust in the body, what takes away from trust, and how we can rebuild it in our Kintsugi way. And if you wish to learn more about creating beautiful ripples and how to prevent a bad moment from turning into a bad day, please visit my website, which is michaelobrienshift.com, and sign up for my newsletter called The Ripple Effect. And I hope you'll join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:11 a.m. here on the Kintsugi podcast and discover how we can all celebrate our scars as golden symbols of strength and resilience. Until then, remember, you can always come back to your breath. You've got this, and we've got you.